Hello and welcome to the channel and welcome to another Lost reaction. This is Season 5 Episode 15, Follow the Leader. I wonder if you can. So, in the previous episodes, we have learnt quite a lot. We have now, I think, aside from a couple of anomalous events that don't seem to make a lot of sense at the moment, we have a very clear idea of the timeline from Dharma all the way to the 815, of exactly what happened. Before Dharma, not so much. And there is definitely a before Dharma. There's definitely important information contained in the timeline before Dharma. But the timeline of Dharma, as we've seen, and ends with, I think, what Daniel said before he died, that the drilling of the drilling in the construction of the Swan causes the electromagnetic radiation thing to escape, and then the Swan is built to contain it. Something must have happened after the electromagnetic escaped, because they didn't build the Swan station in 108 minutes. That was still very much under construction, weeks away from completion. So we know what happens when that thing is allowed to escape. The island sort of jumps and things happen. So I wonder if that leads, to the, because I don't know, that leads to the more catastrophic events that Daniel described. And then obviously the Swan, Brzezinski, why did Brzezinski have to make that map since he was so high up? That's still a question I have. How did he end up in the Swan in the first place? Okay, then that one seems fairly obvious now, because he was the one that knew what to do and how to vent the electromagnetic flux. Then Daniel died, shot by Ellie, his mum, because he threatened Richard. Still don't know why Daniel went in there armed and threatening when he'd already talked to Richard very calmly before. Richard knew him from 1954. So why did he go in there so aggressively? Oh well, maybe we'll never know the answer to that one, because Daniel's story has come full circle and it is over. And that's a shame, because I was actually starting to like Daniel. I was really starting to warm to him, and thought he might, be important in the events to come, but obviously not. Although, again, he's died on the island, so he could come back. Other question I've got is that Jack seems to be able... No, not Jack. That Christian seems to be able to jump around in time as well. Is he bouncing along with everybody else? Or does he have the ability to travel in time? I'm talking, of course, to his appearance to John in the donkey wheel chamber when he was hundreds or thousands of years in the past. I'm assuming we don't know when that statue was destroyed. And when we was at the well, when we saw the back of the statue, I didn't see any evidence of habitation or foraging or any natives. So that could have been fairly recently. relatively speaking. It doesn't have to be thousands of years in the past. It could have been, you know, a mere 70 or 80. But in all the Dharma things we've seen, I haven't seen the statue. So the statue was definitely gone before Dharma got there. Or at least before 1974, when Sawyer and crew arrived. That's what I'm thinking anyway. I'm sure we're going to learn more about that very soon. We found out that Des is doing well. He's in recovery. So Des and Penny are both absolutely fine. They've been visited by Eloise. But that was a kind of side story just to let us know that Desmond is still alive, and I think it's still important. I don't know how, because he's not on the island in 1974. He doesn't arrive until 2001, so they can't like give him a message like Daniel did to go and find his mum. So maybe Desi's story's over as well. But the fact that he's alive means I think maybe not. Maybe not. And I'm sure Walt needs to be back at the island as well. And also, I've forgotten. Okay then. So we had this big gunfight as well. So Saeed's on the run. We already knew about that for shooting Ben, because he doesn't understand the rules, inadvertently triggering Ben's destiny to become one of the others. Yes, I think Pierre may. Oh dear, I'm going to sneeze. I think Pierre managed to evacuate a number of people before the incident. So something Daniel said convinced Pierre. And then there was this big gunfight, wasn't there? Big gunfight where, well, basically all our time travelling people have been found out as being infiltrators, not who they say they are. Which, in Dharma's defence, they're not who they say they are. So, and now I'm going to get on with the next episode.
What's he doing in there? Jack, he's crazy.
Easy. What if this is why we're here?
Jack's a proper believer now.
One chance to put things back the way they're supposed to be.
No, because they are already what they're supposed to be. Oh, that's Charles.
Just who the bloody hell might you be?
Oh dear. She's going to end up giving her young son that notebook.
What happened?
Which draws him to the island.
Put a gun to my head and Eloise reacted. Where'd you find them?
Crouched in the bushes. Why the Dharma Initiative seems to have declared war on us.
They're not Dharma.
These people aren't from the Dharma Initiative, Charles.
And where the hell are they from?
Richard, he's here.
He's here? John, is this present day Richard?
I brought dinner.
John? It's been 3 years. What happened? Where were you?
I'll explain on the way.
On the way to where?
On the way where?
It's going to be night soon. You and I have an errand to run, and we don't have a lot of time.
Something different about you.
There is, isn't there?
I have a purpose now.
Oh,
What's he doing here?
He helped me get back.
he's not supposed to be here.
His name is Richard Alpert. He's a kind of
Immortal.
advisor. And he has had that job for a very, very long
Yeah. So it's official then. Richard is just the advisor.
son. What do you...
These people, Jack Shepherd, Kate Austin, Hugo Reyes, they were here with my husband, Jin Won. Were you here?
Yes, I was here 30 years ago. And I remember these people. I remember meeting them very clearly
Because
I watched them all die.
no.
Ben, I'd appreciate it if you'd join us.
What, John, don't you trust me here with my former people?
No.
Afraid I'll stage a coup?
I'm not afraid of anything you can do anymore, Ben.
Does he know that Ben cannot harm him?
Your son came back here because he had figured out a way to change things. He doesn't have to be dead. You don't have to have killed him. If we do what's written in that journal, none of this will have happened.
But it did happen. No, he doesn't.
He thinks he does.
I'm sorry, Jack, but it's true.
Hey!
You ready to talk now?
He's been tortured by a genuine Iraqi.
Believe me, I'm getting tired of this too, Jim. So why don't you tell me where your girlfriend took the boy? She bring him to the hostels?
I can make him talk.
Oh, can you, Isaac? How so?
Son of a bitch! Easy. Easy. Dead man.
I really didn't think he was going to go there.
Your friend Faraday said that you were from the future. I need to know if he was telling the truth. Who's the president of the United States?
All right, dude, we're from
Carter? Ford?
It's true then? You are my son.
Yeah, it's true.
You're a friend, a physicist. He also told me to evacuate everyone I could off the island. He said there was going to be a massive accident at the Swan. Now, is that true?
He's been right about everything so far. If Faraday said get people off the island,
Get people off the island.
I'd do it.
She's pregnant. She's actually pregnant with Daniel at the moment.
Beechcraft. Used to smuggle heroin. I flew out of Nigeria.
Oh, that plane.
All right, Richard, listen very carefully because you're only going to have about 2
Oh,
minutes to get this right.
Get what right?
that's where he jumped to.
Walk out of the jungle. He's been shot in the leg. Who is that man, John?
So, hang on, how could there be two of them at the same time? Yeah, this was the present, but that was 3 years ago. How has John jumped? No.
What just happened?
It just
Where did you go?
time jumped.
Give Richard his compass back. Everything go all right?
Well, you seem pretty convinced. Especially when I said you were going to die. Certainly glad that didn't have to happen.
Actually, Richard,
It did.
did.
So the island is communicating with John in a way that it never did with even Richard. And now he wants to go and see Jacob.
Put the women and children on a sub and get them the hell out of here. And if you put me and Juliet on the sub with them, we'll tell you anything you want to know.
You're not going
No,
anywhere.
you don't need to do that.
We're not in the habit of telling our secrets to strangers, then just letting them saunter off.
You know, I don't care about your secrets. I just want to leave.
Look, just put the gun.
Step away.
She wants to leave.
Hey,
she can leave.
Oh, who's that? Saeed!
There's an opening in the bottom of the rocks at the far side.
Oh, that's the temple. I don't remember seeing that before. When we was here before.
Hello, everyone.
I do like this
My
John.
name is John Locke. I've been told that for some time you all have been accepting orders from a man named Jacob. And yet, oddly enough, it seems that no one has actually seen him. Now, I'm sure there are very good reasons why his existence and whereabouts are secret. I just don't know what they are.
This man, Jacob, can you tell us how to bring Jin and the rest of our people back here?
Absolutely.
If he exists.
So I'm going to go and see Jacob right now.
Benny's worried. Or
And I'd like
curious.
all of you to come with me.
Really? The hell's he doing? This has got to be against the rules. And I really don't think Jacob, if he exists, is going to like it.
Locke is going to be trouble.
I did warn you.
Why do you think I tried to kill him?
Hey,
They're trying to create a new love triangle. There it is.
well,
What are you going to do?
now what?
Yeah. So now John's being Moses leading his people to see Jacob. John is Jack, Jack is John.
So if you need Jacob to help you reunite your people, then I'll do whatever.
I'm not interested in being reunited with my people.
This is a bigger
What do you
picture.
mean? You told Son.
I know what I told her, but that's not why we're going to Jacob.
Then why are we going to Jacob?
So I can kill him.
How? What? That's going to end. Okay, that was a fascinating episode. Especially the fact that John takes Richard and Ben to go and meet his former self so that Richard can remove the bullet that Ethan shot into his leg. Which I'm sure happened 3 years ago from all of their perspectives. So, did John take them back in time 3 years and didn't even tell them and then travelled them back again? If so, how? How did John do that? Or maybe, well, yeah, because I don't know. Maybe from John's perspective, that jump was the future. Yeah, that must be it. That must be it, yeah. From John's perspective, after he got shot when Richard helped him, that was a future jump. Yeah, it's how John knew to be there at that time. Okay, right, that makes sense. So John is leading his people to go and see Jacob in order to kill Jacob. Is it possible that Jacob hasn't had the best interests of the island at heart all along. And that the others, and Richard included, in following Jacob, they have actually been working against the best interests of the island. And that maybe Dharma, yeah, I'll go along with that. So Ellie takes Jack and Saeed and Richard down underneath the village into this underground tunnels. It looked, when they came out, it looked seriously like the temple where Ben was judged. And then, yeah, and now Jack wants to detonate the hydrogen bomb, but for what? I can't see how that is going to change anything. If anything, it's going to be the incident, end up being the incident that they're all trying to avoid. What if Daniel is wrong? What if the drilling of the Swan Station isn't the root cause of the incident, but in fact it's Jack doing exactly what he's doing, detonating a hydrogen bomb and killing everyone? But Daniel said in Jughead that in 50 years' time that bomb hadn't gone off. So, I'm sure there's a paradox there somewhere. And is Daniel's notebook a logical paradox? Because Ellie's now got hold of that notebook. And is it possible that she's given that notebook already filled out to the young Daniel, who then uses it to go back to or find the island? Or am I making things a little bit more complicated than they actually are? I don't know. The next episode is the finale. Well, it's two parts of the finale. They will be released together next week. Today's Friday, so they will be released together next week. I can't say for what day. Probably Tuesday. So I can record one on Monday, record the other on Tuesday, and then I'll whack them both up together. And then that gives me a little bit of time before starting season 6 to do an end of season ramble. I've no idea what I'm going to do it on. This season has been a hell of a roller coaster. It hasn't ended yet. But obviously the next 2 episodes are going to be really sort of jam-packed full of answers, maybe, or at least reasonable sized clues as to which direction we're going to go in. End of season episodes usually tend to be quite enlightening, so I'm looking forward to that. But before I do that, as I said, I'm recording that next week. That gives me the weekend to really go through this entire season in my head and really try and pick out what I think is important and what I think is going on before I record the finale. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just talking for the sake of it now. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.